Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, it's not raining by you like it is by me, but it's raining. It's a great time to shoot a video and do a little more Litecoin payments training. So, today we're going to focus on one of the main advantages of Litecoin, which is the simple fact that the current payment system has a lot of issues and problems. And because of these issues and problems that exist in the current system, it's literally paving the road for Litecoin to be adopted and for merchants to want to hear about another payment option. So let's get started. So let me tell you guys quickly about my story. I never really told you guys how I got into this, what led me to Litecoin and to cryptocurrency. So I'm probably a little bit different than most of you, where I actually got into this stuff because of being in the payments business. So I first heard about Bitcoin in 2012, 2013, and I heard about it like how most people did, maybe in the news, or I think actually a kid that worked for us was talking about it. I think he was talking about Silk Roads or something like that, and I thought it was interesting. So me and my brother was in college at the time. We actually looked into buying it. We wanted to buy it. We were tracking the price of it. We never did. I was actually at the time against it as a payment. I didn't know about it. I just said, hey, my brother's name is Sam. I just said, hey, Sammy. I said, this thing, I can't see it really taking off. I was too into the credit card world at the time, and the banking world, and the current financial system. I thought that was great. And, it was good at the time, but there's a lot of situations and issues that have happened with it that I'm predicting is going to lead to its demise. So let's get started. So let's talk a little bit more about how I got into crypto and Litecoin. So like I said, I heard about Bitcoin 2012, 2013. I was tracking price, thinking about buying it. I didn't, and like I said, I was into the existing credit card world. So in 2017, I was really, at this point, fed up with the existing payment system. I mean, I was actually to the point where I was going to work angry a lot of days. And I'm not an angry guy. I'm a happy guy. I'm a positive guy. But there was a lot of issues that were occurring with the current payment system that was just making me shake my head. I wasn't feeling right about a lot of the stuff that was happening. And I actually saw a Litecoin transaction. Somebody came into my office and they said, John, I got to show you this. Have you heard of Litecoin? And I said, no. And they said, well, it's similar to Bitcoin. They explained it to me. So they showed me a transaction, a $1,000 transaction, go across country from New York to Cali. And I was blown away. I mean, I was absolutely blown away. They pulled it up on like a block stream or block cipher or one of those. Showed me the confirmation, showed me how quick it cleared, and how anybody could access this data on this digital ledger that nobody controlled. It was just like, it was so fascinating to me. So I stood up and I was like, we are out of business. Told everybody in my office, I said, guys, we're done. I said, not just now. I said, but in time. I said, this is going to blow us away. So this is, I said, everything's struggling as it is. So I said, this is leaps and bounds better than anything that's out there. All right, so let's go into the nitty gritty on these current problems in the current payment system. So like I said, the beginning of 2017, I was going to work angry some days. I wasn't happy about the way things were going. Why? Let me explain to you why. So one thing that started happening, I noticed this in 2014, was synthetic identity theft. So let me explain to you guys what synthetic identity theft is. So we'll take the example of an example business, Bob Saunders Dry Cleaners. Okay, so Bob Saunders Dry Cleaners, if they were a victim of synthetic identity theft, let me explain what would happen. Somebody would have stolen the real Bob Saunders, the owner of this business, They would have stolen their identity, okay? Social security number, everything. They would have created a online profile pretending that they're them, email address, website, whole 9 yards. They would then call into a company like mine or any other payments company that's out there. They would apply for a merchant account. And they would always, always, always have all the documents that we needed to pass our clearance to get this merchant account approved. Now, the only problem is that this Bob Saunders that called into us to apply for this merchant account isn't the real Bob Saunders. They stole the real Bob Saunders identity. So now they're calling in to us to apply for this merchant account. We send them applications. They fill out the application. They send us back all the documents that we need and more. They would always have even extra sometimes, right? And they would get approved for this merchant account. Now, the processor behind the scenes, which, we're what's called an ISO. I'm an ISO, an independent sales organization. So Square, all these companies that are doing this are mostly an ISO like I am, an independent sales organization, which means we're our own company that clears the transactions through a back-end processing network, okay? One of the large back-end processing networks that's out there. So in this case of the synthetic identity theft, usually after about a week or so, the back-end processor would realize, hey, there's fishy activity going on this Bob Saunders dry cleaning account. Freeze the account, lock up all funds, but by that time, the Bob Saunders, the criminal, probably got away with $30,000 in money that he stole right out of the system. So what they're doing is a lot of times they're offloading stolen credit cards that they have access to. And then the money clears so fast from merchant processors. I mean, you get the money in your bank account within a day or two. So they would then go to the bank and clear out the account, and they're walking away with all the money. So this was started to occur a lot in 2014. And I was marketing a lot online, getting leads online. I was pumped about the credit card processing business. I was signing up tons of accounts. I was making money. I was a happy guy. I was always good at sales. I was like, this is it. This is like playing for the Yankees or something. I found it with this merchant processing. But 2014 rolls around. I'm marketing a lot online, and we start getting nailed with all this synthetic identity theft. So I'm a guy that questions things. I don't keep my eyes shut and say, oh, this is going to last forever. If I see problems, I'm like, gee, this is not good. This is not good. This is going to change how we do things. And unfortunately, it's not going to change for the better for the good people. That's the issue with this, right? That when they make these changes to stamp out this synthetic identity theft, it doesn't affect in other words, the people doing the synthetic identity theft still usually get away with it. It affects the good people that are operating a good business because a lot of times, they're not as sophisticated as this guy committing the synthetic identity theft. They might have misplaced a document or two. So now when we have to get the real person's account approved, a real person that comes to us, we have to berate them for all these documents that they might not have, and then it delays them from doing a legit business. So I recognized that this was going to happen. So I started getting very worried, started just shaking my head. And so I'll tell you about some of the changes that have taken place. So because of this, there's the rise, well, not just because of this is one of the reasons, the rise of what we call AML compliance in KYC. So AML compliance is anti-money laundering compliance. KYC is what they call know your customer. Okay. So, like I was saying before, because of this anti-money laundering compliance, we have to get overkill on documents a lot of times to get accounts signed up and approved to process payments. A lot of times there's unnecessary holds in the beginning, just so, I mean, I can't blame the actual processor for doing this. I mean, they had to try to stamp out this synthetic identity theft in one way or another, so they just won't fund large amounts now in the beginning. So this becomes a problem because now people that switch to a new service, or they're saying, gee, my money's being held, I need the money now so I can buy the goods to fulfill the order. Now I'm waiting. Now the customer's suffering. So this is just a bad way to go about business. Okay, so again, this AML compliance, again, it's not necessarily their fault that this is in place. I mean, this stuff's kind of put down even from the government. But again, this is me speaking this as a processor. This makes people's lives hell, okay? The bad people still get away because they have all the documents always ready to go to pass whatever AML compliance is required. So the good people that are out there are suffering. I mean, not everybody is, real on top of all their paperwork and their documents at all times. I mean, a lot of people they misplace things, they can't find things. This is just life. This is how people are. And these people are suffering because of this. Okay. So let me go into another problem. That was the AML compliance. That's an issue, obviously.